have our passes to make sure that we're not COVID's carriers.
We're passenger number 1 and number 2.
Out of what we found out is there are 167 passengers. Okay, so it's Wednesday morning, about 10 o'clock, and we are boarding the ship. The ship has arrived.
We've been watching it because we could see it here.
Yes, and we took a taxi to get here, and we just went through the procedure, which was, I guess when you're passenger number 1, it wasn't that smooth.
We didn't stand in a line.
We didn't stand in a line, but we're going to be boarding shortly. You see the to the ship signs. We'll take you through that, and we will be escorted to our cabin. And maybe
where we can spit in a tube.
Yeah, we'll still have to spit in the tube.
We'll show you that part too.
Yes, we'll give you the full report. Yes. You have to exit through the gift shop. Just before you get on the ship is the gift shop. This is our first official view of the Venus. We walked out of the store, and there's another ship in port, and now we are going to walk to the ship. Those are really different than we've seen.
These are brand new, actually, different jackets.
Yeah, because they
much easier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, much easier. The ones we had before had a strap between your legs as well.
Yeah. And they were orange.
Go click and pull.
Yeah.
Right, they've got a light, they've got a whistle there. You just unclick this and unravel it, put it on.
Gentlemen, we've made it into the cabin, and the first thing she does is take a drink.
Valletta's pretty warm.
Valletta is warm, yes. Plan on being plenty warm when you get here. But we had our personal escort to bring us to our cabin.
Oh, and you want to show the spit tubes.
Next step, ladies and gentlemen.
How often do we have to do this? Every day?
Every morning, it's my understanding. There's the directions. We haven't done it yet, but we are ready. So being the technology guy that I always am, I'm always interested in the Wi-Fi speed on the ships, and I always check. I check it everywhere. But if you don't have the speed test app, then you might want to download this. It's free, and this will give you the speed of the internet that you're using. So I'm going to press go. And it connects to the servers and sends a little data in both directions. And we're going to see how the ship is doing Wi-Fi wise. And starts off rather slow, but let's see what happens here. Whoa, look at that, whoa. Oh, this is the fastest I've ever seen on a ship. And that is very good for Wi-Fi for downloading. Boy, you could do high definition TV with no problem. And here's the upload speed. Not bad either.
But we're the only 2 passengers on board.
Yeah, but this tells you the native speed. But one of the other things that you want to take a look at is what's called the ping time here in the upper left-hand corner, on the left-hand side there, 632 milliseconds. That's quite bad. It should be under 10 to be good. Under 50 is okay, but this is not good. Okay.
Talking to you from the deck of the Viking Venus. You're listening to the first 2 people who boarded the Viking Venus in Valletta this morning. We got a welcome worthy of Lady Gaga or Queen Bee or the President. I've never met so many people so happy to see me. I felt like a celebrity. We know that the crew is always warm and friendly, but this was over the top because they and we are so excited to be going again, and being able just to talk casually to people is just a thrill. So where should we begin in this segment?
Well, by this time you've probably seen a little bit of video that we shot this morning as a result of us getting on board, trying to give you a little bit of the picture of what the boarding process is like. So let's maybe describe that in more detail. We arrived here about 10 o'clock at the ship. we were at the hotel and we said, well, what the hell, let's go.
And we knew it wasn't too early to board because the ship had been sitting here for a number of days, so we were fairly certain that they didn't need to clean our cabin this morning before we got on, which is sometimes an obstacle to getting on early.
So the process is, it's interesting that the boarding gate is across the street from the ship. So our taxi driver didn't know exactly where to go.
I was slightly confused.
And was slightly confused, and so he had to make a U-turn and turn around. And finally we saw a sign that said Venus boarding. And so we walked in and found out that we were the first people to arrive. That was totally unexpected.
And they told us they were expecting a grand total of 167 people.
167 on a ship that holds 930.
It feels like we are on our own yacht. I feel so bad for Viking because they're obviously losing money on us, but hopefully the good start that we are having this week will get the word out and other people will join in to come visit a beautiful part of the world. We are very impressed with Valletta.
I mean, look at that background, and around here it's just fabulously beautiful. And we're hoping to see lots of Malta and Valletta and all of the other ports in the near future. But the boarding process, we walked in, and they actually had to kind of train people because there were new people there because they haven't boarded
done
people
this
very
either,
often
yeah.
in Malta.
Right.
And so the land people were demonstrating how to do it, and we got our temperature checked.
And a boarding pass.
They checked our vaccination cards. No mention of Verifly.
Yeah, why did we do that?
We didn't have to turn that on or show it to them.
Maybe we did that
Maybe they did
to reassure them that we had been vaccinated when they first
at home,
enrolled us.
I don't know exactly what that was for. We've had some interesting issues here that the paperwork has not matched up with
What we
expected or what we were waiting for.
They're still groping their way through it too, I would think. So don't be annoyed if you end up doing stuff that doesn't get used by anybody. Better to do it and not need it than vice versa.
And then we got our they took our credit card and we filled out some forms. And then we got our boarding pass. I mean our room cards, and that took 10 minutes.
And if you've been on other cruises, I'll pick on Florida. You go into this antiseptic giant arena building with a lot of people and a lot of lines, and here we were kind of being checked in through the city wall. It felt like you'll see when you come to Malta. There's a lot of beautiful sandstone rock work. Some of it was walls, some of it was buildings, and you kind of wound your way through. It felt like the adventure was already beginning, just trying to get through.
But of course,
at
the end of the walk was...
You never leave without exiting the gift shop.
But the gift shop was not expecting us. There was a lady in there working, but she was not ready to do any...
Well, we could have bought something.
But if you're interested in buying
Malta souvenirs, it looked like a nice shop.
And liquor, I don't know why you'd want to buy liquor, but they had an assortment, and of course, exit through the gift shop is kind of our motto on tours.
Because you always have to. It's inevitable.
Entrepreneurs are always looking to help you leave your dollars at the counter. So we walked out, and then there were 2 or 3 little guys there who were going to take us to the ship
on a bus.
They had a bus.
It was maybe 2 blocks.
But it was a really nice day, and we wanted to take pictures of the ship. The
what
light
a nice
and stuff
view.
on the ship was beautiful, and so, well, we would have walked anyway. We can walk 2
blocks. Well,
but if you have mobility problems, then this might be a
good to know, reassuring.
That there is a guy with a 40-passenger bus. I don't know. He would have taken just us, I guess. But bottom line is that
it's there if you need it.
And then they have another kiosk at the end where they do the boarding. Did they take our picture?
Yes, they took it as part of the check-in process.
That's right, and we had our temperature check. Yeah, okay.
Right,
and they took our picture. So then, by the time we got to the ship, once again, those people were
effusively welcoming us, and so many people saying, "Where do you want to go? Can I help you? This is this way, that's that way," and then you get to the food venues, and there's just all this food that's spectacular looking for the two of us. I felt like I should start shoveling it in. Oh dear.
And we had several very interesting conversations with crew members because they're so anxious to chat with us, and they of course have been without any passengers for over 10 days. They left Portsmouth on July 3rd, and that was on a cruise that was canceled. That was supposed to be a repositioning cruise, but it was canceled because of problems with COVID and some of the European stops that they were going to make. So they had no contact with people, and we asked them if they, well, Portsmouth is fairly cold and cloudy, certainly compared to Malta, and we asked them, did you spend the last week getting your suntan and refreshing? And they were all very, well, we've been working very hard to make your visit, but they had a little recreation too. So, the atmosphere on the ship is great because they were very anxious to have us on board finally. They'd been together, and they were doing team building and learning about the ship and learning about Viking, and so they were very anxious to show off that how proud they are of the ship, and that was something you don't see. We actually had at lunch, we had the hotel manager, number 3 on the ship,
had a long conversation.
I'm going to try to get him, and maybe we could have a little interview.
And he talked about trying to win the hearts of the Maltese authorities by provisioning a lot of the things. He mentioned the wine in particular, which is a specialty here, to give them some benefit of the money that we are bringing here to this part of the world and to charm them a bit. So it kind of helped.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we got a new electronic gizmo.
Yeah, we have this attractive jewelry we're wearing at all times.
Yeah, and this, when it's blinking blue, it means that it's connecting to the router, and I don't know what the hell it does.
It does.
It has no on-off, it has no buttons, and it's probably spying on you 24/7.
I think the purpose is if you come down with COVID, that it keeps track of the people that you've been in close proximity with, and would help them with contact tracing. They also have a lot of chairs sectioned off, sit here but not here, to socially distance us, but with only 167 people on board, that's hardly going to be an issue. We'll be clapping loud enough if we go listen to a singer or a comedian, because there are going to be so few of us.
They've got 4 guest lecturers, PhD guest lecturers on board, and 167 people.
So we better go and listen carefully. No yawning. There may be a test at the end. And we also should say, I think you guys already know this, that in our cabin there was a lovely potpourri of COVID testing devices and the test tubes that you spit into. We're going to be doing that every day. Pay attention to the wrappers that they are in, because one has your name on it and one has your husband's name on it. So you don't want to screw that up like we did.
So we are doing the testing, and there's full-time masking, except when you're eating, of course. So that's going to be the norm, I guess, this trip.
For the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and I think that they're doing that as a safety measure. But oh well, I don't like it. And somebody commented on our YouTube channel about, do you really like the masks, and did you have to wear them on the plane? And yes, and I hate the masks.
Yeah.
But it's the only way to go. I'm trying to find ones that are really comfortable for us, but it just hasn't happened yet. So maybe we'll see in the future. But so we got to our cabin. We did the spit test. They've had a nice safety drill, which we went down, just like you've seen on the other videos. We went down to the main entertainment, the theater, and they individually gave us
the safety, showed the life vest.
We have had an opportunity to talk to a few other people that have actually recognized us. The YouTube channel, it's unbelievable. We never consider ourselves to be celebrities, and but to be recognized,
it felt like we were a celebrity.
Mask while you're walking down the corridor. And these folks have had some interesting experiences traveling here too.
Getting their flights changed at the very last minute.
Getting flights changed at the last minute. But both of them seem to be satisfied that the travel arrangements were the best that could happen. And so Viking Travel,
came through for
the
them.
Viking Air Plus has done the job. I don't know, getting a phone call at 6 o'clock at night saying that your flight the next day has been changed and everything has been changed in terms of the connections, and I don't know, just would bother me a little bit, but I guess that's what's necessary.
These are
in
unusual
these COVID
times.
But they made it. And they're one of the 167 folks that are going to be traveling with us. So this is heartening. It's going to be interesting for you to follow us. And I'm sure on your cruise that it'll be many more people than what we're seeing here now. And it's going to be something very unusual for us to see just so few so that's 1/5 of the capacity of the ship.
Yeah. Oh, we should also mention that we signed up for shore excursions while we were still at home, and all of them are running. Everything that we requested to do, we've gotten tickets for and expect to be on them. So that was encouraging as well. I was afraid that some of that might get canceled if there weren't enough people.
And we talked to the YouTube lady, not to the YouTube, we talked to the shore excursions lady, and she said everything's going to be normal. She said they usually have 45 people on a bus, but now they've reduced that to 22, so that's going to actually make the shore excursions much better. And the other thing they have are these, I want to call them whisperers, but they're not.
Some Vox, I think it was
in
called.
your cabin, for all of the shore excursions, they have wireless connections for the tour guides, which is really cool. We've used these before on other tours, and you get a headset, and you turn it to a channel, and when the guide speaks, you hear, and everybody gets to hear together, which is a really nice way of taking a tour because you never miss out on what the guide's saying, and you can wander around, within 50 or 60 feet of the person, and you're still able to hear all of the narrative that they're saying.
So that's another quality touch that Viking offers.
Yeah. Well, this is just the way tours should be these days.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're taking a bus tour, and it's included in the bus tour too. And the guides don't have to yell and scream,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
hard
really,
on them.
to me, a really big plus. So, we will keep you up to date. We will be making some short videos for the shore excursions that we attend, and hopefully we'll be able to share some of the experiences of other travelers. It seems maybe
We can interview the other people that were watching us.
and there may be some other folks who will find us and make themselves known.
Very strange.
But you can't run down the corridor saying, "Ken and Martha, Ken and Martha." It's a little embarrassing. So, you know who you are. So we will send it there, end it there, and we'll end it with the, Okay.
Time for dinner.
Time for dinner.